If you're thinking of buying or selling soon and wondering if or when prices and rates will be coming down, then this week's update is for you. I've got some alarming insights and weekly trends you need to know about that may be reason enough to rethink your timelines and plans. So let's get into it. Hey, I'm Rick Harrison with MVP Realty, your go-to source for all things real estate in Southwest Florida. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to stay up to date on the latest intel, strategies, and tools keeping you ahead of the market. All right, now let's dive into this week's update. All right, just a quick rundown of this week's agenda. Market overview is first, then I'm going to go down and break down the key market stats by city. After that, I'll give you key buyer and seller insights, so things that you really need to know as a buyer or seller, as well as key buyer and seller strategies that are really themes right now for where we are in the market conditions and things that you can use as a buyer or a seller to either find the best deal or get the best price, as well as the market futures, where things are heading next, and market news, important things that are going on in the economy and the news that are going to be affecting home prices and mortgage rates. So let's get right into it. First off, we got the overall market overview. This is for all of Lee and Collier counties, which is my main focus here. So let's go right through the stats. And this is a week over week comparison. So new listings were at 578 as of the 23rd, which was this past week that we just went through. That's down 7.8%. Solds is also down. That's closer to 20% down. And then you also have pendings, which are down almost 9% week over week. So pendings are what's going on in the market right now. That being down indicates that there's less buyers making offers right now on homes. Median sales price overall, $370,000, and that actually fell to 2.6% week over week, down from 380. Median sold price per square foot. So for those of you who are trying to gauge whether a home is a good price, you can use the price per square foot method. This is putting them at about $237 per square foot. The median days on market on average for home sellers right now is taking about 34 days to sell a home. We're kind of in a stagnant or stale market right now. All right, here's an overview of the single families as far as where homes are selling. The blue and green graphs here. Blue indicates the number of sales that we've had in that specific city, and green indicates the actual average selling price. So we have Cape Coral, which has the most amount of sales right now, and that is because of the price point. You can get a lot of home for the price, so that's why there's so many sales. And then also Lehigh Acres is very affordable still. So based on this chart, you can tell people buying three two single family homes right now are probably mostly first time home buyers or relocation buyers, smaller families looking for smaller homes, just because of the price points and where the demand is. Cape Coral and Lehigh being a little bit more affordable markets here. So the less expensive markets are seeing the most sales right now. We're going to go into the condo overview. So 3-2 condos, Naples and Fort Myers, of course, they have the biggest markets for condos. Same thing when you're looking at a 2-2 condo. Those also have the biggest markets there as well. This week, I'm adding in a rent overview for those of you who are buyers out there who might be sitting on the sideline and renting, just to understand where rental prices are heading or where they are right now when compared to purchasing a single family home. So, for Naples, the average or the median rent price right now is about $4,300 for single family homes, which you can buy a pretty nice house for that. If you're looking at a single family house, that's a pretty decent, $500,000 house, $600,000 house right now. Same thing with Fort Myers. You're paying almost $3,000 a month. At $3,000 a month, you can very easily buy a $300,000 or $400,000 house, even a little bit higher if there's no flood insurance on it. Same thing with Cape Coral, $2,500 a month. You can buy a nice 3-2 with a pretty good sized piece of land at the current interest rates. So that's at a 7%, 7.5% interest rate. All right, now let's break down the cities. Cape Coral, we had 150 new listings come on. That's actually down 25% week over week. Solds, 82, that's also down 25%, right in line with new listings. And then pendings also down. So you can see down across the board here, the market has slowed down quite a bit. Median sales price is actually up a little bit. Median sold price per square foot, you're looking at about $245 per square foot for a single family home. And then days on market, it's taking about 30 days to sell. Now, Cape Coral condos, new listings, relatively low numbers in the condos section here. So 28 condos, new listings came on over the week. That's up, 50%. So because the numbers are so small, these swings can be pretty large. Sold, same thing. It's actually up 133% because it went from 6 to 14 week over week. And then pendings are also up 150% from 8 to 20. Median sales price for a condo is $257,000. That's up a little bit. Median sold price, $213 a square foot for condos. And then median days on market, about 12 days to sell a condo in Cape Coral. Now let's move on to the Fort Myers single family homes. 103 new listings. That's down just a little under 2%. Solds down 64% from 78 sales previous week to 28. Again, this is a lagging indicator. So this is stuff that happened a month or more previously. And then pendings, what's happening right now. That's actually the amount of homes going pending in Fort Myers for single families is down almost 20%, down to 70 this week. Median sales price, $402,000 for single families, $237 per square foot on average, and then about 33 days to sell it on the market. Fort Myers condos. Now, this is one of the bigger condo markets. Fort Myers and Naples are the two largest condo markets. New listings, 82, that's down 10%. Solds down 36%. Again, lagging indicator, that's down to 33. Pendings, also down 30%. So the pendings right there is an important number because that's telling you what people are buying right now. In Fort Myers, condos are not selling as quickly as they were before. Median sales price for a condo, about $295,000, and that comes out to about $224 per square foot. It's also taking about 33 days to sell a condo in Fort Myers. Moving on to the Naples single families, 118 new listings. That's down just 5.6% from last week. Solds 54, that's down 36%. And then pending sales is actually up. So we're seeing a little bit more demand in the Naples single family market. Again, we're seeing new listings go down 5% and pendings go up 3%. That's a recipe for increasing prices in this market. And as you can see, the median sales price did go up to $960,000. That's up 13%. Median sold price per square foot, about $466 a square foot. And it's taking now about a month and a half, 45 days to sell a single family home in Naples. Naples condos market, new listings, 137. That's up 4.6%. Solds are actually down 22% from the week before, and pendings are up 18%. So this is good news for the condo market in Naples. We're seeing, about 4.6% improvement in the new listings, but we're also seeing an 18% increase in pending sales, which means there's there's more buyers entering that market, which is going to usually increase sales prices. Now we'll have to see that on the next week's update. Median sales price this week, however, is actually down a bit for condos, down 8.8%. Median sales price per square foot, $319, and then 34 days on market. So across all markets, you're seeing that it's taking at least 30 days to sell a home, and that's with the prices being on point. These are really insights, themes that are going on right now for buyers and sellers to pay attention to. Inventory for buyers, inventory is stagnating. So we're actually seeing in some markets, inventory is declining, which is not good. That means prices are going to stay higher for longer. But we are seeing right now prices are stagnating because we aren't seeing many buyers enter the market. So even though inventory is declining or stagnating, we're not seeing many buyers being interested right now because interest rates are almost at 8% right now. That's what's causing a stagnant market right now. Expense factors to consider if you're a buyer. Make sure you check how old the roof is, how old the ACs are, if it's in a flood zone and what flood zone it's in, because that can be really expensive right now. And then if there's any assessments, especially if this is in a condo or an HOA community, make sure you know about the assessments on that. Also, rent prices right now are pretty close to even with cost to own. So if you're on the sideline waiting for prices, obviously interest rates aren't ideal right now. Again, you always need to make sure that it makes sense for you to be buying right now. Make sure it's a long-term decision too, because we don't know where interest rates are going to be going. I think they're going to be going higher for longer. So with that in mind, make sure that this is the right decision for you, whether that's buying or selling. Sellers, sold prices are stagnating right now. So we are seeing some concessions come back in. We are seeing prices lowering, but they're not as bad as, channels like some of those other big channels are making it seem like. That is not our market here. real estate is really localized and Southwest Florida is still in high demand. Sold prices are stagnating, but days on market are also increasing. So just be aware you're not going to be, don't expect, lots of offers coming in the first week or two, unless you have a crazy good price that you're putting at. But, if you're trying to get the right market price for it, expect your home to sit on the market for 30 days. Expect there not to be a lot of showings or even people showing up to open houses, because the market really is, buyers are struggling right now with interest rates. Pricing is key, so make sure you're really getting an agent who really knows their market, their area, that type of home, and can really give you a good idea of what that market is indicating your home's worth. As well as single family homes are in high demand, and then there are more options for buyers right now, so you need to have better marketing. It needs to be something we're going to go into those strategies actually right now in this next slide, but for those strategies, we'll just start with the seller since I'm talking about them already. Pricing needs to be on point. So this is an overall theme. Marketing needs to be persona specific. So we've talked about this before, but if your home is in a high-rise condo in downtown Fort Myers, you're probably not getting, first-time home buyers to buy that property. You're probably not getting small families to move into those. You're looking at people who are relocating, maybe snowbirds. So that's how your marketing should be positioned. You want to attract what are those people looking for? What are the lifestyle that they're looking to get out of this? And that's how you want to market those kinds of homes. Same thing for single family homes, like let's say in Lehigh Acres right now, since that's in high demand. That is probably going to be a first time home buyer or families who don't want to be, who don't want to have extra costs associated with a flood zone or something like that. So market to those people. Highlight the savings in your home. Right now, obviously, money and financing is a huge factor. So highlight the savings. How is the roof brand new? Is where that's going to be a huge insurance savings. Is it not in a flood zone? Are there low HOA fees if it's in a community, etc.? And then concessions. Think about using concessions instead of lowering the price. Maybe if your flooring's out of date, maybe offering a credit for $3,000 to $5,000 to replace the flooring versus dropping your home $10,000 to try to get the right buyer. Also offering things like I always offer for my seller clients. I always offer buyers a 1 or 2 year home warranty. So that gives it a little bit more oomph. And, buyers who are looking at the property don't have to worry about anything for another 2 years, an AC going out or something you might want to be considering offering instead of maybe lowering the price. All right, now let's real quick, before we get into today's stories, let's take a look at the interest rates because they are changing quite a bit. They've gone up over the past week to about 7.5%. Right now, NerdWallet has it coming in at 7.4%. Bankrate has it coming in about 7.7%. It is, I believe, going to get up to 8 to 8.5%. And we're going to take a look at that in just a moment here. As some of you who have watched this all the time, you can see I drew this about a month and a half ago. This is the 10-year bond, which is a pretty good indicator as to where mortgage rates are going. So if you're new to this, the whole idea, if you just follow the 10-year bond market and you add about 3 to 3.5% to whatever the rate is currently, that's what your mortgage rates are going to be. So if you just follow the bond market, if it goes up, that means mortgage rates are probably going up. If it's going down, that means mortgage rates are coming down. This little white line that I drew about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, is my prediction as to where rates are going. And it's playing that out, not exactly, but this is based on a bull flag. So according to the technicals in the chart, which is just probabilities, about 80% probability, rates are probably going to be going to 8 to 8.5% over the next month. Even though they're coming down a little bit right now this week, to end the week, I think with everything that's going on in the economy, I think we'll be seeing that come back. All right, now let's move right into our news stories. So this one comes from Zero Hedge. Do you understand what we were saying? This is talking about the Federal Reserve. Their story for the last year or two has been higher for longer, rates higher for longer. And I think this week we saw that with the bond market and, the stock market reacting to it. Finally, they've been behind, but people haven't been really paying attention or believing what Powell was going to say. And they thought that he was going to be reversing course. And because they're not, now the markets are starting to kind of backtrack a bit. So yesterday saw markets being confronted with nothing less than a bond sell-off. That bond sell-off is just what I just mentioned. That's why rates are coming down, but they are still oversold, which means that there's a lot more room to go up. The market has finally woken up to the idea that rates are likely to stay higher for longer. That is what I've been trying to say and tell a lot of the sellers and buyers. Just to put this in perspective for you, if you are in the market or considering entering the market, for buyers, if rates are going to be staying higher longer, that means that your mortgage rates are probably going to be increasing over time. So we're probably not going to see interest rates go back down to the 3%, 2% rates that they were for the last decade. That was artificially low. Now we're going to be entering back into a hike cycle, which is about an 80 to 100-year cycle, where we're going to be doing what happened from 1930 into the 1980s, where we saw inflation go up. And they do it the same with just about everything. If you look at gas prices were really low a long time ago. They went way up and then people got upset. They bring the prices back down a little bit to make people feel comfortable, but they never go back down to where they were. I think that's what we're going to see with the interest rates. So that's something to be aware of as a buyer. I don't know if we're ever going to see 3% rates for quite some time. I think they might come back down to 5%, 6%, but I don't think that's going to happen until the late 2024, maybe 2025 time period. So you might be renting for a long time if you're staying put. Same thing on the other side for buyers who are entering. This is not a bad time, if you can handle the rates, because there's really not that many buyers in the market and inventory is still doing pretty well. So you have a lot more choices and you can get a little bit, you can get some concessions or some incentives from buyers or builders, from sellers or builders right now. On the other hand, sellers, there's not a lot of buyers in the market. So prices are stagnating, could slowly come down depending on how high rates get. So if you are thinking of selling right now, I think we're still near all-time highs, but that has started to change a little bit. Couple things for you local people or people who are buying in the near future, or might be in contract right now. The shutdown with the government, that is going to have a few effects, ripple effects, if that does play out. First of all, FEMA is going to be rationing the aid efforts, and that expires actually Saturday night at midnight. So FEMA's pausing for those people who are purchasing a Hurricane Ian home that might have had damage or is selling one. This is going to put a stop to a lot of that funding that may have been coming in. At the same time, the government shutdown is also going to be delaying mortgage approvals because some of those loan programs, like an FHA, are all really governmental. They're subsidized and insured. So a shutdown would likely slow down an already slow mortgage approval process, leaving thousands of aspiring home buyers in limbo while processing of their federally insured loans, such as the FHA. A government shutdown will present a dizzying number of challenges for the public to overcome, like the potential debt default from earlier this summer. The best outcome for consumers is for the government to function in a consistent and effective manner. Obviously, one of the other things that you might want to consider is if you are in the middle of purchasing or about to purchase a home, we don't know how long this government shutdown could go for. So if you're in the process of buying a home right now and you haven't locked in your flood insurance rates or had it bound, you might want to consider doing that, because if the government does shut down, you're not going to be able to bind those rates. They won't be able to do it with flood insurance. So depending on whoever your insurer is. So that's just another thing to consider as well. The last thing I wanted to touch on was just Zillow's forecast. I take a lot of Zillow stuff with a grain of salt, but Zillow's forecast right now, the home value index, they are forecasting it to rise 4.9% from August 2023 to August 2024. They did lower that down to 6.5%, but still an increase, year over year. It's not pointing towards, good news for buyers waiting on the sidelines. Neither are the mortgage rates and forecasts for that either. So, like I said, we'll have to see. I take a lot of their stuff with a grain of salt. So this is the forecast. They're still saying we're going to be seeing increase in home values, and a lot of that just comes from the amount of inventory that's on the market. Again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you got a lot of information out of this. I know it was kind of long and it's a lot of data, a lot of stats, but I hope it's specific enough for each one of you who's watching this that you can really break down the numbers for each area that you're looking to go into and really take a good look at all the things that are happening right now and a lot of the stuff that might affect your ability to buy or sell in the future, in the near future. But if you guys have any questions or anything like that, You can reach me. You can scan this contact code if you're watching on on a TV with your phone, or you can just click the link in the description. All my contact information is in there. You can reach out to me by phone, text, or email, whatever works best for you. But I'm happy to answer your questions. I'm an open book, so feel free to pick my brain or run some situations or scenarios by me. I'm happy to help in any way I can. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I try to get back to you as quickly as possible, and it is me replying. I'm not automating it or anything. So I will give you a very in-depth and detailed response as best as I can. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope to see you in the next video next week. But until then, stay safe, stay positive, and more importantly, stay free.